Live from WSLS, this is 10 News at 6, working for you.
A major shift in vaccine distribution in the New River Valley. We'll tell you the two big changes and what they mean for you coming up.
And rise in revenue.
The surpluses for many local communities and what that means for their budgets. Good evening and thanks for joining us for 10 News at 6. I'm Lindsay Ward.
I'm John Carlin. Just 1 week ago, this is what Virginia Tech's Lane Stadium looked like. Students graduating and parents cheering in the stands.
Now, this is once again the scene, people getting vaccinated. As 10 News reporter Jessica Jewell shows us, there's a new group of people able to line up.
It's a big day for the club family.
Just starting down the path of getting our entire family vaccinated.
3 of their 5 children now one step closer to being fully protected against COVID-19.
Well, one of my daughters has type 1 diabetes, and so that's definitely important for us. But just even in general, we feel like it's the safest route for our family for, protecting the community.
Her oldest children, ages 12, 14, and 15.
It hasn't been the worst year ever, but it's still, I wish I could have done more fun things with other people.
All newly eligible for the Pfizer vaccine.
I've been wanting to socialize more, so I think that once I'm fully vaccinated, that will slowly start to sort of happen again.
Vaccinating younger people is not the only big change with today's clinic. This is also the last mass clinic happening in the New River Valley, signaling a major shift in the fight against COVID-19.
At our largest here, we did almost 4,000 in a day, and we had about 60 vaccinators. Now we have days where we're going to be going out and doing 3 or 4 events with just a couple of vaccinators at each for a couple of hours.
A change in demand leading to a change in distribution strategy. The district will now move to mobile clinics targeting underserved and untrusting communities.
It's not where people are just going to come search us out. We're going to go door to door.
Working to get more people vaccinated to get the NRV back to normal. In Blacksburg, Jessica Jewell, 10 News, working for you.
Kids were able to go to a vaccination clinic in Lexington as well today, but there's still 2 more opportunities to take part if you missed today's. On Saturday in Danville, there will also be a vaccination clinic geared toward kids. We've got this information as well as how to sign up on our website. Just log on to WSLS.com. With more than enough vaccines available across Southwest Virginia, local and state leaders are working together to build trust for those who are still unvaccinated. Many localities have seen vaccine demand decrease over the last several weeks, but cities like Roanoke are using new tools to combat any misconceptions and increase access for underserved and minority populations.
Sometimes that's because these families may not have a legal presence in the country, and they're always cautious of being involved anywhere where their name is written or they have to show an identification or anything like that.
Now, coming up tonight on 10 News at 7, see the other creative ways organizations across our region are addressing vaccine hesitancy.
Roanoke city leaders are taking on a big job balancing the budget during the pandemic, but so far things are actually looking up. 10 News reporter Lindsay Kennett live in Roanoke tonight with this story. Lindsay, the city's actually expecting to make some money.
John, the city is projecting about a $9.5 million increase in revenue, despite the hit the economy took during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, about 68% of that revenue is from local taxes, including real estate, sales, and personal property. Sales taxes, including from online shopping, skyrocketed during the pandemic. The money will allow the city to give pay increases to employees and law enforcement. The city also wants to reopen services to the community, including city pools, and expand library hours. Another addition, the city is getting $64 million in federal funding through the American Rescue Plan Act. Leaders are still working on a plan for that money.
And certainly, we have all seen significant fallout from COVID, certainly from the public health side of things, but also from the economic activity. And I don't want to undermine or downplay any of those within our community. However, it is still fairly amazing how strong our local and resilient our local economy has been.
The total budget is about $307 million. There is a virtual public hearing on the budget on May 24th, a budget study in early June, and then City Council should adopt the final budget on June 21st. Reporting live in Roanoke, I'm Lindsay Kennett, 10 News, working for you.
New tonight, Grayson County Superintendent is speaking out against a proposed budget cut for the school division. He says leaders were anticipating a $700,000 cut, but the Board of Supervisors tacked an additional $300,000 during its work session last night. That's a decision he says could have a big impact on several projects already in the works.
You know, there's money there. They have a good surplus. We really don't understand it, but you know, like I said, they have to do what they have to do, and we respect that. But we also, it's going to put us in a heck of a bind trying to educate our children in this community.
We've reached out to the Board of Supervisors for comment, but are waiting for a response.
Switching over to your weather, a bit of rain for some people in the viewing area, a bit of sun for others.
Yeah, today's touch of warmth is just a taste of what's to come, though. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowich joins us now. So, Jeff, I mean, we're talking about a big warm-up on the way.
Yeah, no doubt. Low to mid 70s today. 90s are not far away, guys. I want to show you the radar, and we do indeed have many of us dry at this point. Just a couple of pop-up showers, maybe even a stray storm into our westernmost counties. Maybe one little shower towards Highland County, a couple more in Pocahontas and Greenbrier counties in West Virginia. And you also will notice that we have some sporadic showers and maybe even a stray storm in places like Bland, with also into Grayson and Carroll counties, not to mention Pulaski County. So overall, NRV, Mountain Empire, seeing the highest concentration of wet weather as we speak. Now, as we broaden the scope here on the satellite and radar composite, the heaviest rain remains from really the upper Midwest all the way down towards the Gulf Coast. Portions of Texas and Louisiana have seen over a foot of rain, and they're going to continue to get wet here over the next couple of days. This rain, though, is going to be blocked from heading in our direction here anytime soon by an area of high pressure. So yes, summer-like heat is on tap. That means minimal rain chances here probably through the weekend. And of course, a tropical forecast from the National Hurricane Center is coming out on Thursday. And of course, that leads me to also tell you that tropical season, the hurricane season, is exactly 2 weeks from today. It starts on June the 1st. John.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Well, a man has died after yesterday's tractor-trailer crash in Amherst County. It was a story that we first brought to you as breaking news during our 6 o'clock newscast yesterday. According to state police, a recliner fell out of a pickup truck and into the road. A car behind it tried to brake but could not avoid the recliner, and then a tractor-trailer was not able to stop and hit the car, and the car's driver died. No one else was hurt. Charges are pending.
A chapter focused on change.
We have, you know, a lot of younger student leaders that quite frankly need this chapter.
What the region's first collegiate NAACP hopes to accomplish.
And a second act of vandalism sparking fear for some Virginia Tech students. What's gone missing after a push to promote unity? Well, as these flags fly in the New River Valley, ones promoting unity in the Middle East have gone missing. Hillel at Virginia Tech says this is the second time that they've been vandalized in less than a year. The organization has supported Jewish students and educated the community for decades, but over the weekend they say someone stole 2 flags from the display. The organization's leaders say that the incident has caused stress and fear for some students.
It's crazy how just one little act of taking a flag, and people don't always realize the repercussions or the assumptions or effect that it could have on other marginalized or minority groups.
The organization is offering support groups for its students.
A bill that aims to combat a rise in anti-Asian hate crimes is now awaiting President Biden's signature before it becomes law. The COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act cleared a final vote in the House this afternoon. It would create a new Justice Department position that would speed up the review of any potential incidents. A group of students with one goal in mind: how the region's first collegiate NAACP chapter plans to create unity in the community.
And you are looking at a live picture from our Roanoke Blacksburg Airport Skycam. We have seen some breaks of sunshine across the Roanoke Valley over the last couple of hours. A lot of the sun we've seen, though, has been milky sunshine. We'll let you know we're going to see a lot of blue skies and when highs will hit 90 or above coming up.
The University of Lynchburg is making strides toward building unity and fighting for racial justice. The school chartered its own NAACP chapter.
It's the first collegiate chapter in Central Virginia. 10 News reporter Tim Harfman shows us how they're making moves toward that goal.
Before walking across the graduation stage this week, University of Lynchburg senior Davion Washington Jr. had one more assignment.
I really wanted to hone in on one of my own personal passions and goals.
So he founded the university's NAACP chapter, the first collegiate chapter in the area. The group says the university has historically been a predominantly white institution with about a 10% African American student population and a 6 to 8% Hispanic student population. Washington wants the chapter to create open dialogue, especially when tension is built across the country.
True leaders create more leaders and create opportunities for future leaders.
The university's student employment coordinator, Desmond Mosby, is the chapter advisor and says for the NAACP to continue, the younger generation must carry the torch.
That torch has to be passed on. Somebody has to be willing to step in, and take on those responsibilities.
Stepping up as president of the group is freshman Desmond Harvey. The business major looks to increase membership and unity.
For me, it's personally about bringing a community together to teach people understanding and to unite each other.
The chapter has about 30 people interested in becoming members next fall. In Lynchburg, Tim Harfman, 10 News, working for you.
Your local weather authority, always watching and tracking for you from the JES Weather Center.
Most of us are dry. We have seen some breaks of sunshine this afternoon, but for the most part, we have seen more clouds than sunshine, and we continue to deal with a couple of showers. I would say towards the New River Valley and Mount Empire, Bland, Wythe, Grayson, Carroll, Pulaski, and Giles counties among the folks right now seeing a little bit in the way of some rain and maybe even a rumble of thunder. Now, I would say by 10 o'clock this evening, the showers that are around right now should be gone or should be for the most part gone, okay? So the amount of rain that we see this evening in the mountains will decrease. As we go into the day Wednesday, it looks like we may have a couple of leftover clouds early in the day, may actually even have some patchy fog as you head out the door in the morning. But as we head into tomorrow afternoon, I think we're going to see more in the way of sunshine. I will call tomorrow a mix of sun and clouds, perhaps more sunshine than cloud cover. And then we're fair as we head into Wednesday night. Thursday is going to be a day where we're partly to at times mostly sunny pretty much all day long. Wednesday and Thursday look to be dry for us. We are falling behind, though. The rainfall deficits continue to go up in many locations. Since March the 1st, we are anywhere between around 2 3/4 inches below normal to around 3 3/4 inches below normal. So fact of the matter is, since March the 1st, we've been very, very dry across the region. We've had some rain showers over the last 48 hours or so, but they're not doing much to dent the rainfall deficits that we're seeing across the region. It's 62 right now in Hot Springs, 68 in Blacksburg, lower 70s in Roanoke and Lynchburg. Hot spot right now, Danville at 74, but look at what's going on in West Virginia and points west. Ohio, also Indiana, lots of oranges showing up. Temperatures are in the 80s, not far away from us. And we're going to be in the 80s for many of us as we head into tomorrow. We are looking at temperatures tomorrow a little bit above average for this time of year, as we're looking at highs ranging anywhere between about 78 and 85 degrees. Normal highs at this time of year are between 72 and 80. So again, we're going to be a little bit above normal tomorrow. That's more like it, because from here we are going to continue to have the heat continue to just go nuts across our neck of the woods. So key points here with this extended warm-up headed our way. Highs are going to be in the 80s, even some 90s. We're mostly dry too. Of course, you can stay tuned for updates. We'll keep you ahead of any storm that may develop here over the course of the next week or so. But I will tell you that this weekend in Roanoke, we're looking at a high around 91. That's generally what you see late May in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we are going to feel like Nevada here as we head over the course of the next 4 to 5 days. Weekend looks hot, it looks humid, and it's going to feel like Las Vegas outside, if you can imagine that. All right, so for tonight, we're going to have some clouds in and out of our backyards with any showers this evening ending. Overnight lows 50 to 56. 3-day zone-by-zone forecast showing that the New River Valley are, for the most part, dry here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Ditto for the Highlands. You're dry for the next 3 days or so. South side, you're in the 80s Wednesday and Thursday, lower 90s Friday. Lynchburg, your next chance for a stray thunder shower may come this weekend. Otherwise, perhaps a slightly better chance for pop-up thunder showers by early next week. And across the Roanoke Valley, middle 80s Thursday, near 90 Friday and Saturday, lower 90s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Liberty softball coming off an ASUN championship that catapults them into the NCAA tournament. And oh, by the way, one of the toughest regions in the NCAA. They'll face James Madison on Friday in Knoxville, Tennessee. Familiar territory for a lot of players on this Flames squad. Back in 2018, Liberty fell to South Carolina in the third game of that regional series that would have sent them to the championship. 3 years later, that memory still remains.
This team is really special, and it's kind of like going out the same way I came in a way, because my freshman year we also went to a regional. So just to have this opportunity to go out and do that again and end on a really good note is awesome.
It was such a fun experience, and just being in the championship game then, like having that team, which was a very strong team, but just looking at this team now, like we can go so far. And I'm so excited to see what we bring this weekend.
Liberty scheduled to play JMU noon Friday in Knoxville. Pacers without a key starter for a play-in tournament game tonight. Kevin Pillar hit by a pitch last night, multiple nasal fractures, and Stanford won't be eliminating 11 sports as previously announced.
Perfect. Good manners. NBC Night the News coming up next.
We'll see you at 7.